What's up, everyone? It's Knifing King, and welcome back to episode, I think, 5 or 6, I can't remember, of the Knifing of
Six.
X podcast. It's six.
Yeah.
Six, guys. Welcome back. Me and my co-star Vex. We talk about zombies and kind of branching out to other things now. But today we have our third guest on, Pika.
What's up,
Um,
guys?
yeah, when Pika, go ahead and give people who may not know you an introduction of who you are.
What's going on, guys? My name is Pikachu, also known as R Pikachu. I am a member of Obey Undead. I play a lot of Cold War, Black Ops 3 zombies, and just focusing on just playing just different types of zombies.
All right, here we go, guys. Oh, yeah. I say we get straight into it. Well, Pika. For people who don't know, could you talk about Obey Undead and like what it is and everything?
Yes. So Obey Undead is basically a zombies division that is directly affiliated with Obey Alliance, which is a professional gaming organization that was made back in 2012. Um, the leader that is in Obey's Grizzly, he pitched the idea for a zombies division, which did raise a couple of questions from some of the people who do invest into Obey Alliance. So, what the leader did was just pitch in different ideas, gameplay from like different Call of Duties, and ultimately in the end, it did pique the interest of, I believe, one or two of the investors, which has led to Obey Undead being what it is.
So yeah, I think it's really cool how Obey Alliance, like I remember watching Obey like way back in the day, like do those trick shotting sniper
Oh,
videos. I
absolutely.
think everyone did, and like MW2, MW3. I remember like I think it was like Obey Agony. Um
Yep,
he was like the
it
first
was.
like leader of the team. I think he's in phase now.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
while Agony was in phase, he did create the Obey Alliance clan.
Yeah.
Because at first it wasn't a whole, professional esports organization. It just started off as a regular trick shotting, sniping Call of Duty clan like Face Clan
Yeah.
was. An optic in a way, but they were more kind of like they were more already professional when Phase and Obey kind of started gaining more and more popularity throughout the years.
Yeah, so that's how what I knew them from, and I knew that they were like a decently big org. I mean, I don't know, I don't remember how many subs they have, but they definitely have a lot of subs on their YouTube. So like when I first heard like they were making like a team, I know a lot of people like weren't that interested in it and like they didn't want to join it at all, but it actually is like a pretty cool thing to see. Like a actual like gaming organization like branch out into zombies.
Hmm.
And it could like really set the tone for maybe like the future. Like, what if more teams were to come in? Like, if Obey Undead does well, you know? Um,
Yeah.
so like, what do you like? How has it been in being in like Obey Undead? What's your experience been like?
It has been a pretty good experience. Definitely very nice to have a lot of people with different approaches to zombies, because there are like people such as content creators that are solely just there for content creation, like Greg FPS, and then you have people who do streaming, high rounding, like myself, MC, and other people, and like it's just interesting whenever we do have meetings. It's cool to see how our ideas are completely different from each other, but you can kind of take bits and pieces from each side's ideas to kind of make a
Put
creative
everyone's
content.
ideas together to like create one like because everyone like
Yeah,
probably has different perspectives, right? Like there's all sorts of different
absolutely.
types of players, you know. There's speedrunners, there's content creators, there's high rounders.
Yeah.
Everyone sort of just has different perspectives on what they should be doing.
And especially with like this first year, like it was definitely a test, because when we did first make the Zombies division, it was frowned upon for quite some time, because in the past there has been like, multiple, zombies teams. Yeah, like District Z back in like 2018, 2017, when Black Ops 3 was booming, and then just like other small
Zombie
zombies, kind of like,
Legends like was
yeah,
out.
Zombie
Yeah.
Legends, that was a thing. And so like it was kind of frowned upon when this started, just because, you know especially based off of the first recruitment challenge, some contestants weren't picked that a majority of the community didn't like. However, they didn't understand the reasonings on uh the ultimate end goal in zombies, for what the leader kind of wanted to carry on for the future. So it started off definitely at a rough state at the beginning, but I felt like throughout time it's slowly gaining more respect than it did
Yeah.
when it first started, for sure, which is
Like
nice
I
because,
think a lot of people, I don't know if they made fun of it, but they just weren't that interested by it. And
yeah,
for me, it's like,
exactly.
dude, it's actually a really cool opportunity. If you want to see zombies grow, like having an organization like Yo Bandit come in and
Yeah,
like signing all these players. Like I don't know if you guys are making any money, but probably not. If you guys are, it's not that much. It's more just probably like an experiment, right?
yes, yeah. The
For
first
now.
year, the first year was mainly like a big experiment, because after each year, um, there's like all of the higher ups, the leads for each certain division, with the esports leads, the investors, the CEO, and each lead from different divisions, and they have kind of like a meeting like each year. They talk about stuff and details that I'm not exactly sure of. But through each meeting, we kind of get an idea on like what we can offer to the community, um, through different like challenges or like gauntlets that
Yeah.
have been previously shown back when Cold War was out a few months back. So
I remember
Yeah, I know right
we
now, don't y'all have a gauntlet for Shino Numa out?
um
that's planned. Or
that is
should we be talking about that?
It's all over Twitter. That's why and Zamba was
Yeah.
talking about it and
Well, no,
everything.
no, they're not running. I think Phone
no no
Steve is
so
running.
so so it is Phone Steve that
Yeah, it's
is
Phone Steve.
so yeah, it's Phone Steve that was running the Shinonuma Gauntlet.
I I know talking to like people in Obanded, it was sort of planned that they're gonna have a gauntlet in
It
January, but I don't think it's gonna go through now, right?
No, I'm not 100% sure
Yeah,
on the whole plan with that, but I do know that that idea has been pushed many, many, many
yeah,
times, but there has been things that came up that I can't mention,
yeah.
because
That's fine.
I don't have an idea
Yeah,
on, because I don't really keep up too much. I kind of keep up here and there, just because with work and everything, I kind of hardly have any time to check social media. So I just tell them if there's something specific for me that I need to like pay attention to, or something that I need to do, just let me know, because I'm gonna be back and forth Monday through Friday. So
yeah. I remember getting a message by Zombie Dog like, "Yo, would you rather have a Shino gauntlet or an Ascension gauntlet?" Or it was something like that. Or maybe he asked
yeah,
me
some along those
what
lines.
map should it be. I think he was just asking my opinion. I think he was asking a bunch of other players' opinions, to see like
Yeah,
what do people
he
want.
messaged me as well.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah,
So yeah, I definitely think
asked
it
me
was
if
definitely
he has an
planned, but
idea.
maybe it's just like delayed.
Yeah.
And I think that would be maybe it would be fun to buy Obey. That'd be pretty cool.
It would
Or
be
like winner
cool.
gets winner gets G Fuel because you guys are sponsored by G Fuel. That'd be
Hmm.
pretty cool too. Kind of a big sponsor too to have G Fuel. That's like a proper sponsorship,
Yeah.
which is cool. Do you get like sent shit like G Fuel?
Uh, okay, occasionally, yes.
Yeah,
I do have
that's cool.
quite a crap ton of tubs. Half of them I bought, and then the others just kind of sent.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was
but yeah,
just sort of
so
wondering, like
it,
that's specifically like an Obey Undead sponsor, right? That's not like an Obey. It's like for
it,
Obey
it is
Undead.
it is so since since Obey Undead is directly owned by Obey Alliance, our
That
sponsorships is the same as Obey Alliance.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just like a branch of the regular team.
correct.
Yeah, I remember talking when me and I think had Big Mike on, who's also a part of Obey Undead. Um, he talked about trying to make content where they played like competitive games like first rooms or speedruns and stuff, but they made it look fun and they tried to make it look fun for people to make so people can enjoy the video and like make them want to maybe try it out. Um, so I think that's cool that they're trying to get more like the casual audience into like the competitive side of things for
Hmm.
sure. Because obviously that's where like the most amount of growth is possible with zombies is like just getting like the casual players into the competitive side because there's like a million casual players when it comes to blackout or just zombies in general. But yeah, I definitely like what they're doing for sure, and hopefully it continues to grow and get better for sure as it goes on.
I
Um,
think I think Obey and Dad does like a good thing for the community. Cause to be honest, I'll go through a lot of people's like streams on Twitch and stuff. I see a lot of people like have it in their stream titles. I guess like I don't know if they're like a part of it or like they want to be a part of it. A lot of them I think like want to be a part of it, and I think
yeah,
that
I think they want to be a part of it,
is
and I
striving for
think they're like
something, you know.
grinding. Yeah, they're grinding streaming and zombies to get to that point where they're in obey. Gives
Yeah,
people like
Yeah.
extra motivation to stream and grind. Like, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
That would give me extra motivation. Like if I was trying to become like a zombies content creator.
yeah. Because like especially like what I've noticed, especially during the last stretch of the year, was there has been an increase of people who have been grinding more to try getting into Obey Undead because of the things that we were able to accomplish throughout the first year that we have been an organization for, which I thought was really cool because not a lot of not a lot of teams kind of get that amount of support like that are
Yeah,
just starting off their first year. Like they would go for like a couple months and then they would immediately like take a break, which is
not the way to
very
do it.
counterproductive to grow
Yeah,
as fast as possible.
you gotta stay consistent. You don't stay
Ab-
consistent, people forget about you.
Absolutely.
That's what happens. Same thing with just becoming a streamer in general. Like one of like the biggest tips I can give anybody who's trying to become a streamer is like, dude, you gotta stay consistent. I know Pika, you have kind of issues with that because like you're busy and everything.
Yeah,
But you know,
but
you grinded a lot though. Like you did. You were
yeah,
consistent for a while.
I was consistent up until I want to say June,
Yeah.
and then when I came back, there's also a small spurt for like 3 months, and then I had to go again just cause life got really busy for me, so I didn't have time to make the accommodations to maintain the streaming schedule that I had before. So now with what I'm trying to balance out, hopefully I can get on a more consistent um consistent like schedule
Yeah,
so that I can I can still grow, but it's definitely not going to be nearly as fast as it was before because
Cold War was
before
brand new.
Cold War was brand new. I was streaming every day, 10 to 12 hours a day, just in and out, just no breaks whatsoever. Because at the time, that was when I did leave my job in March, but that's when COVID kind of delayed me getting to start up until last month. So I waited 9 months just to start my job.
That's a killer. Damn, that's a long wait, for sure. But I give you, I guess, an opportunity to try something else with streaming and just go hard at that. Cause
Yeah,
I know,
absolutely.
like you were putting in like in those Cold War games, like you gotta put in mad hours.
hmm
Like
And
they're a long time, long
and
reset.
like and like the best part as well. So like since Cold War allowed me to get pardoned with Twitch, that that aspect of like the grind for me is basically kind of taking a step back because now I'm able to kind of experiment in a way because that's the benefit of being partnered is that you can kind of experiment on what your audience like and what they don't like. So and it's you don't lose anything because you already have that partnership. Once you get that partnership, you will never lose it unless either A, you sign a partnership deal with a different company such as YouTube or Facebook, or B, you do something very stupid and get yourself banned.
That's yeah, that's very stupid. Um, for sure. I guess we can move on from like the Obey Undead topic and move on to your Die Machine game that was
Yeah,
played.
what did you like have in mind going into that Die Machine game? Were you just playing the first room, or did you like know you'd get a 935 that game?
So, going into it, I recently finished a game prior playing with no jug, and I crashed at 30 hours in. So, I was thinking, um, because a lot of the issues with the crashes on that map was the rate at which you were killing the zombies because that map, especially with the main strategy, which is standing on the penthouse, you are killing him so fast that the game
Can't comprehend
isn't
it.
intended to comprehend or handle that amount of spawn killing and strain that you are putting on the game, which is why people have been consistently crashing literally in a span of 20 rounds apart from each other when they are doing the same exact strat. And there has been specific like modifications such as not spawn killing him and aiming at a certain spot in the ground where when the zombies finish spawning and jump over, you can still consistently kill them without you getting absolutely mauled, which previously someone has made it to around like 860. I'm not 100% sure. But going into playing the first room, I kind of just wanted to play like 25 hours because I was under the impression that that map was fucked and that you can't go over that because the map's just too fast. And so as each day kept going on and on as I was playing, I was at a certain point midway through the run where I just wanted the run to be over. I wanted to crash because with me, when I'm in a game, I don't like to quit. Just cuz I don't feel like playing anymore, I will not quit. I will play that game out until I either game over or the game just ends up going away by means of a power outage or a script error which has occurred due to overusing the wonder weapon on that map, the shockwave. So when you continuously use that weapon, you will get a script error. I'm not sure the exact reasoning on why you get that script error, but once you use that weapon for a certain amount of time, you consistently get that script error, which is why that weapon is not primarily used when going for the high rounds and everything.
Yeah. I didn't really know much about Cold War at the time. I got the 935. I sort of stopped playing after like the first week. I think a lot of people did, to be honest. Like, got done the Easter egg, just got like quit that game because like I didn't enjoy it. But
Yeah,
so when you got the 935, like I didn't really realize how big of a thing that was, and like everything behind it. Really, how like it's sort of crazy how like you played in the first room to get it. Like that's just sort of crazy. Like you gotta play in the first room to get a world record on the map, and
It's kind of like Die Rise. You gotta play no power to get the world record on the map. Like,
true. Yeah, but just a lot more simple because like Rise is just trample steaming and you
yeah.
know um
Pika, I have a
Time
question.
Machine
Do
is
you
like you
think?
have unlimited lives and stuff.
Yeah, but Pika, do you think playing the first room was harder than playing the like the normal strategy that you would normally play?
Yes, because if I were, I'm just gonna base it off of how I play it. If I played it regularly with all the perks that you need and whatnot, I would not go down one time because I will have the full amount of armor. I will have jug, all the overpowered things that you do need in that strat, war machine, ring of fire, all that stuff that makes the game exponentially easier than the majority of the Call of Duties. Whereas in a first room, you you can't really have that sort of privilege just because you have no perks. You do get armor, but even with that armor, you still go down in 3 hits, and without armor you go down in 2. And the zombie hit registrations are in my opinion, I think they are the quickest out of all of the Call of Duties that are
No, I
out.
definitely agree with that. They
Maybe
are
maybe
fucking
maybe
insane.
Black Ops 3 is a close second, and I'm not even gonna talk about Vanguard because that's not zombies. Um,
That's
I
true.
think that I
Dude,
think we can all agree that that is
I didn't consider
I
Cold War zombies, but Vanguard,
I
that's just a
I
step down. Like, oh my
I
god.
wasted I
Made me
wasted
appreciate
200
Cold War.
hours. I wasted 200 hours in the first week and a half because that game broke my PlayStation 5. And thankfully I
Oh
had
no.
warrant it was still in the warranty period, so I got a replacement PS5. That I was very lucky, and because of that I uninstalled Vanguard immediately cuz that game is dog water.
It is dog water in every facet.
Yep.
Multiplayer, zombies, just everything.
The campaign will probably be the only thing that is good about that game because it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was definitely short, which is a shame because the recent Call of Duty campaigns have been exponentially shorter than what the fan base would like. Because like in the older Call of Duties like COD 4, World at War, even Infinite Warfare to a lesser degree, like those campaigns were a decent length that we were able to enjoy the experience of the campaign. While as these last two Call of Duties, it was oh, I finished in like an hour and a half,
I didn't.
nothing to
Dude,
do.
That's
I stopped
fucked,
playing
dude.
campaigns after like Black Ops 2. I sort of just
Yeah.
stopped caring about them.
Yeah, I stopped after. I think I stopped after Ghost.
Yeah, like
Cause
all the
Ghost,
old ones were good. Like the first Modern Warfare, the first Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. Like
yeah, like
those were
those,
good.
like yeah, those gave us like the experience that we wanted. And then as the years went by, it kind of got
They just got
less and
lazy.
less. Yeah, they did start getting more lazy and just got less and less more eye-catching for us. So we're just like, eh.
Yeah, like like something like Halo, where it's like there's just so much lore to the campaign, so much story. It's all been based
Exactly.
off one character compared to COD. Like that's why like the first Modern Warfares were good. It was like, Soap, Ghost, Captain Price, all like the same characters. And then once those guys sort of, they ended like that storyline. Same thing with BO1, BO2, like they had Reznov, Mason,
Yep.
Woods. Like they had such good storylines there, and then I was like, they keep
They
making new
just
games.
decided to end them off.
They make new games every year, and they can't really continue like the same story. And yeah, like I
That's
think
kind of
I'm
sad.
gonna be
Like
honest, like BO1's campaign was like my favorite with the whole
BO1's campaign,
brainwashing, like
amazing.
hallucinations, like you're seeing Reznov, and then it is really good.
That was definitely my second favorite one, because for me Modern Warfare 2 was my all-time favorite, because that was like kind of it just has to do more with that was the first like Call of Duty I got really big into. Um, but with Black Ops, that was just the first zombies thing that kind of just I was like, hell yeah! Like this just it was
Yeah,
just fun in every single aspect, and like all my friends and I from like middle school, we just every single weekend we just play, and we
same
like
here.
it was just all around like those two series, the Modern Warfare and Black Ops series, were genuinely like it was the highest of Call of
Yeah,
Duty.
like if you grew up in like that era, like, I don't think like nothing. You sort of like missed out on that. But like if you're a game,
What?
right? You're like 16.
No, dude. Fuck
No, you were
no.
there. You
Dude,
were there 12 years ago. Really?
dude, I was
How
there.
old
I
were you?
was
You were
5 years.
4. You
Dude,
were like 4 or
I
5.
was I was 5 years old playing fucking Black Ops 1 on the Wii,
Damn,
dude.
he
On the
damn
Wii.
on the fucking Wii. Okay,
On the
you
Wii,
had a
dude.
really good
Like,
experience on there, didn't you?
yeah, dude. Like, I was there, and then when BO2 came out, like, I was going over, like, since whenever you like, not when all the like the new CODs came out, I would go over to like my godmom's like her cousin's house, and I would like go like play all the new CODs like on his like newer consoles. He'd always have like the newer consoles, so I'd go like play. I was fucking horrible, but dude,
Yeah,
it was great.
yeah,
And
like
then eventually, like I bought my PS3, and then I played on there till like this year.
yeah, like
Yeah, dude.
if you like between like from like I want to say like '09 to like 2013, or maybe even earlier, maybe like like
I would say
oh
from
07 maybe.
I would say from '07 all the way to 2015, to be honest with you, because that was
Yeah,
Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2 was 2012.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it would have been like a 5-year stretch. Where it's
Yeah.
just like yeah, Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, like that
Yeah.
just stretch of games, dude. Like, and like I was grinding those games, like, dude,
Mhm.
like nothing will ever top that.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely not.
the game's like obviously Call of Duty's, like the game's quality has just dropped off so much since those
Mhm.
games, which is just sad to see. Like the games are just like they're like the franchise is like just killing themselves basically slowly.
Yeah.
Because
And I mean,
everyone,
like at first, I did kind of understand their business aspect of it, because at the end of the day, times are slowly changing every year, because they can't consistently like let's take what's a game that has been out for a crap amount of time and just has fallen off. Um,
um,
Overwatch.
fucking Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk was a game that was planned for 8 years and was, in my opinion, one of the most disappointing
Yeah, it was
games.
hyped so much. Like they had
It
Keanu
was
Reeves
hyped
and shit.
so much. Yeah, it was hyped so much, and it was doing good for the first week. But after that first week, just too many bugs, too many like just it just
Bro, I was thinking with
sometimes was
3090s
unplayable.
barely like the 3090s was just like flickering and everything. Like the
Yeah.
game, it just wouldn't even work.
Like it's just genuinely caused so much problems for just being able to play the game in general. So they can't like I understood why like with Cold War, I understood why they kind of went that direction because they don't like obviously the zombies community we're very little compared to like the overall
Call of
kind
Duty
of community.
franchise,
Yeah.
yeah, like multiplayer.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
multiplayer did fine, but I felt like in a way it was like just as the game was out longer, it kind of just appeared that they were just taking the same kind of step that Fortnite has been doing. And that was the game I was thinking of. Fortnite. So like even though Fortnite it's still one of the biggest revenue games in the history,
oh
it
yeah,
has fallen off so much compared to what it was before.
true.
But
But it's still it grew such a big
it
fan
is
base. It's fine.
yeah, it has grown such a big fan base that's fine. And with Call of Duty, I understood why they were
It's sort of
trying
the same
to.
thing with COD, to be honest. Grew
It's
such
the
a big
same
fan
thing with
base.
COD. Yeah, and
Yeah,
which is also why with each year that comes out, people will continue to buy the new Call of Duties. Maybe not you, maybe not like the majority of the zombies community who do enjoy the older zombies. Um, but at the end of the day, I feel like they're just at a point where they only care about numbers, which is kind of the unfortunate thing about companies. But at the end of the day,
The
if
business
they don't
aspect.
if they don't gain a certain amount, then
I feel like
companies will start to shut down because we have seen some companies kind of get bought out by others. So
Activision just tells the developers like, we need to make money in this game.
yep,
So put in microtransactions, put in DLCs. We don't give a fuck about the quality. We need to make money.
yep,
And they did. Like that's what they do now. And I feel like they sort of are gonna realize. They probably realize this year was like really big with Vanguard. Like everyone hates Vanguard, like multiplayer zombies.
yeah,
That they need to up their game's quality a lot. So I
because
hope they get an idea like to just change their idea of how to make a Call of Duty game and actually make like a good one.
yeah, well, I know that with this complete year of Vanguard, particularly in the zombies, they already mentioned that this whole entire year is not going to be round based, which is horrible. But one of the developers did mention in an interview leading up to the release of Vanguard that this was going to be kind of like an experimental thing because of how well that they did with Outbreak when it first came out.
But see, the thing
Um,
about Outbreak when it first came out, I've seen this argument too. It came out on a free to play weekend, so you're playing Outbreak. I mean, you have like a lot of these people who didn't want to buy Cold War, and then Cold War is free. Of course, they're gonna download it, right? You know, if they're
yeah,
like past COD fans, of course they're gonna download it. Oh my God, this new Zombies game mode's out. I'm gonna play it, right? They play it, and of course it's gonna spike, and like it's different, but like people didn't like. I feel like they
yeah,
shouldn't have
they
based
didn't
their
they
stats off of a free to play weekend. I feel like they should have based their stats off of the people who actually bought the game.
yeah, which is just the unfortunate thing because the same thing similar happened with this game, but not for the zombies, mainly for the multiplayer at the time because similar to what happened last year, the numbers started going up when they launched a free to play weekend for multiplayer on Vanguard, um, which is it doesn't like we know that these numbers are absolutely flawed in way more senses than one, but the developers they don't think like that. They're just kind of, oh, numbers are good, we'll be fine, which sucks. Which I'm just hoping that with like they basically have 10 more months And knowing that they got so much backlash and just hate for the game, not particularly because of the whole Activision lawsuits that have been going on in the recent months, but because the game genuinely sucks. Like, I'm just hoping that they will take the criticisms that they are receiving now to kind of taking a step back and think on how they can kind of improve and how to kind of gain that following from last year to this year, because this year it's their numbers have been absolutely bleak compared to last year, just because it's the replayability is at an all-time low.
Yeah. This doesn't even look appealing to fucking play
It
Vanguard.
really does not look appealing
I
whatsoever.
didn't play it. I haven't even seen gameplay of Vanguard's Zombies. I've just read like a million posts.
Except
Like
you
just
bought it, dude. You
I
fucking
bought
bought it,
Vanguard
and you
for the
didn't even
multiplayer.
play
I
it.
bought it for the multiplayer. I didn't buy it for the zombies, and I played multiplayer for like a week before I uninstalled. But zombies, I didn't play it. I didn't care for it. I've just seen like a million posts on like Twitter, or, like Reddit, or just anything. Friends talking to me, like just talking about how shit it is. And I think that's to be expected because I remember when they announced right before Vanguard came out, oh, we're not going to put in round-based like zombie games. It was just like, what the fuck? Like, what are you on? Like that? Like, how are you gonna
Yeah.
like compare Vanguard to like what World at War of BO1 was? Like, you cannot make that big of a fucking like change to your like game. Like, you got to keep like the core of it. And you like they just
Yeah,
ripped out the core and they just made bullshit.
because the thing that literally steered them, like I will say 95% of the people from Vanguard, is because they did take away the tradition of what zombies was, which was round based. Because we, like, all of us, we enjoyed the aspect of surviving as long as you can and progressing through rounds as fast as you can. Each person does different things because you have, in the zombies community, we have speed runs, high rounds. Just the way that you can play with round based is the different ways that you can play it. There's so many different possibilities that you can play, and with each one, it's appealing to a certain group because at the end of the day, it's just a tradition of the round based.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
it
with this
adds
one, it,
that.
it, it kind of just like they took the core and they literally like shove it up their ass and they said we are good for this year. We will pass. And that just it makes me upset just because obviously like I love zombies. I love Call of Duty. Like I I don't like saying that the game's bad, but when it seems and it's definitely apparent that you don't put any effort into the zombies, it's dog shit. Like,
Yeah.
there's no other way that I can say it because I'm not too biased on
You know
zombies. Like,
what?
I have genuinely enjoyed each zombies through a different means. Because like Black Ops 4, the high round's definitely boring. It's redundant, but the Easter egg storyline was very appealing, which is what I enjoyed. And then all the other ones, obviously, the round base was cool. Um, the Easter eggs stories were cool. Even playing Dead Ops Arcade was fun.
Yeah, it was a nice
Just
switch
like
up
just
compared to regular
yeah, so
zombies.
like with the core of it, like you could switch just different types of ways that you can play the game, whether you want to play for the storyline, you want to play for the rounds, or you just want to fuck around with your friends. Like it was just so much fun. With this, it's like there's no Easter egg, there's no round based. You get the same 4 or 5, I don't know how many objectives, but it's definitely not more than 5. And like the map's short. Like there's nothing enjoyable about that. Like with last year with the outbreak last year, the good thing about it was that each area was very, very huge to where you can explore different parts and kind of just explore each area. Like it wasn't meant for a higher round, it was just meant for kind of like a casual linear open world because they said it's an open world. It's not an open world, it's a linear open world. But it was still appealing to a certain extent. Um, just off of my own opinion. Obviously people's opinions differ. But for me, I genuinely enjoyed each kind of year up until this year. This one was just probably the biggest disappointment I'll ever receive in my entire life.
And that's coming from a
Same
guy
for
like,
me.
dude, like you liked Cold War, right? Like, you liked Cold
Oh,
War,
I
and
absolutely liked Cold War.
like so like for someone like you who likes Cold War, it's kind of surprising. Like a game was so bad that you just did not like Vanguard, because Cold War, a lot of people just hate that. But
Yeah, like the thing with Cold War that a lot of people hated was the crafting bench, especially with the infinite revives that you can get.
yeah, armor,
And yeah, and armor and everything. And obviously, my argument to those people is the same
Don't
that
use
I've
it.
always been: just don't use it.
yeah,
Keep the cobbles only.
It still doesn't change the fact that there were some agreeable things that I didn't like, such as health cap on the zombies. Um, the whole field upgrade aspect, it's good and bad. Just because seeing those abilities being used, some of them are appealing to the eye, but a lot of those abilities also make the game even easier, which is what we don't like. We don't like a game that's too easy. We like games
yes,
that, it does give us some sort of challenge, which is why whenever I play it, I think of ways to make the game harder for myself, which is why every time I played a game, like from like from a few months ago up to when I stopped, I just never played with Jug. Never played with tier 3 armor because it just having those things just made it practically impossible for a competent zombies player. And when I mean competent, I don't mean a dumbass. I just mean by someone who has experience in playing zombies for a good length of time. Um, so like with the thing with Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, even Black Ops 4 to a lesser degree, you did have those initial 3 revives that you can have, and then that next one you're dead, game over. Which was very cool just because it added that urge of survival and a challenge just to how can you kind of prevent yourself from making that mistake in a future run so that you don't have to deal with losing that precious life that you had on the game. Um,
I mean,
so
yeah, like if you're down and it means nothing,
yeah, like especially
it
in
makes
these,
you care a lot less.
yeah, like with this one, it's just you could literally buy unlimited, which it was like, oh yeah, like I can just down myself like 300 times and it's not gonna matter because there are some records where it's like, I mean, that's just Cold War in a nutshell. Because it in certain aspects of the map, I do understand why they added it, just because there are certain things on the map that do prevent you from, like, if you want to play relatively fast, you will have those downs, but you are not going to have like 9 million downs. And then there are also like people who play the game like very very casually, who like there's no skill gap with
Yeah.
that unlimited downs, which was the main problem of Cold War, which I did understand and I do agree, because like I will, like, let's say I'll take last year. I had When the game first came out, I had around 525 with one down. And
Yeah,
the
power go
person
out.
and there was a person who beat that record 3 days later by like 14 rounds, but he had like 50 more downs than I did.
Your game is a lot more impressive then, right?
Exactly. So and I'm just like, well, that makes like that it just like ticked me off just a little because it was like I only went down one time and I crashed. This guy just went down like 50, 60 times and it just definitely put a bitter taste in my mouth just with the lack of skill that it required on that game compared to the older Call of Duties.
Yeah, well, with Cold War, yeah, low skill gap. When you talk about the map, I feel like from like a developer's perspective, I feel like they were trying to make zombies almost feel like a mission. If that makes sense. You're loading in, and like the first thing is like objective, and you gotta go here, checkpoint. Like they made it feel like
Yeah,
a
they're trying to
mission.
make zombies like a marketing standpoint, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
so in a way, like going off of what you were saying, Vex, like the way that it seemed with each zombies map was just
Yeah.
it's similar to Spec Ops in Modern Warfare.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
just you spawn in, you have an objective, complete it, and by the time you're done with all these objectives, you complete the story
Yeah.
because obviously like it's basically the Easter eggs, but it just the way that you go through the map and everything, it just seemed more like Spec Ops. So
Exactly.
like
It felt like a mission. Like you're loading in, do this
yeah,
objective. You're coming from like a helicopter, don't you? Like you spawn in on a helicopter, you get dropped in, or do you leave on a
yeah.
helicopter? I think it's yeah. Like they just meant yeah. Like you're right. It felt like a Spec Ops mission, and obviously they need to figure out like a good balance between the two. But
I think BO3 had that balance, though, to be honest. Like, I feel
B
like
yeah,
B BO3 definitely had that balance.
it had
It
that difficulty of old games, but then it had like, okay, so it had the diversity. You could play no ATs, you could play no jug, you could play no power. Like, it had a
yeah.
ton of diversity.
yeah.
And
Like
then on top of that, like you in a super easy game, you could load up some round robins and stuff. It had replayability ability
Yep.
because you
Because
could
you
earn
can
diviniums
choose
and
you can choose whether to play with the gobble gums that
yeah,
were given in the game or megas, or you could play with none, and that just kind of added or not added the degree of difficulty in the game depending on how you wanted to play, which
yeah.
was definitely why like during that time Black Ops 3 was definitely kind of like another huge spike that zombies needed
probably the
because
biggest spike.
yeah, right above of Black Ops 1 because Black Ops 1 was definitely like
The
the
start
start
of
of
it,
everything.
yeah. World at War,
Um
like it was sort of big, but BO1 is where it like really blew up.
absolutely.
Like World at War, a lot of people didn't even know about zombies, because you had to beat the campaign to unlock it. And a lot of
Yep.
people didn't beat the campaign, and then like they go to school and their friends would be like, "Oh, like I got this map, I got this map." And then YouTube became very popular. Like that's how I got into it. Like I'd be watching like these YouTubers play, and I'd want to get like the high rounds they got, like do the strats they had and shit. Like just figure out more. Also,
Yeah, cuz
what made those old games really good too is there's like a lot of mystery to like the zombies mode and like the story and the characters. Like you'd find like these little Easter eggs, like these notes written, and like there's like a teddy bear paw print on the moon, and like you do the Samantha Easter egg on Der Reese. Like there's just so much like mystery there. And then after all of that shit just got pulled over, and like BO3, I want to say, it really just got like a lot less interesting.
yeah.
Once they like revealed everything, and then like the whole storyline is all fucked. Like who even knows? It's just so clustered. But back then, what made it good was again, like it was just very like there was just a mystery there. Like you wanted to figure out like who created the zombies, like the hellhounds. Like there's just a story behind everything, like with like the radios and stuff, which was really cool. And nowadays with Cold War, I feel like they're like Cold War. Like is there like a story with like the characters? Or is it just like
There is like when I played there was a story But it was definitely a different like story compared to like what we were used to, because the campaign for Cold War was by no means bad at all. Like it was actually a pretty solid campaign, but like I said, the problem with it was that the campaign was short, which, you know, you don't really get the full understanding of the story, because when I played through the game, I didn't really understand the story still after playing it, which kind of was the unfortunate part. But playing through it was not bad whatsoever.
So like the zombies mode like comes from the campaign, basically, in the game.
Mm, no,
No, okay.
no.
I don't know why I thought that's what you meant, but um, I yeah, like that's just something like I feel like almost they need to maybe try like a reboot, even though I feel like there's just been like the story got so complicated and stuff. Maybe just reboot with like new characters, or don't even make, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make that side of zombies a little bit more interesting
Dude,
again, I
finish
guess.
off fucking Chaos story.
Yep, that has also been a issue that has been brought up many times, which, to be honest with you, I am not sure if we are ever going to see a finish to that chaos story, unless we do end up seeing a Black Ops 5, which, in my opinion, the chances of that are very, very small. I won't say impossible, because some of the things that they come out with is not even comprehensible by any means. They just seem to think of something on the fly. Um, but if they do end up bringing like another major Black Ops game in there to complete the chaos thing, then depending on that, maybe it would be a little better. But at the end of the day, we just have to kind of wait and see, and hopefully it is sooner rather than later, because at the pace that this is going, the the h- the entire fan base of Call of Duty that has been kind of gained throughout the past 14, 15 years, even longer than that, 20 years, from Call of Duty 1, 20 plus years, will inevitably just be non-existent, will be not relevant compared to it being relevant now due to Warzone.
I mean, Warzone is
Yeah.
what I feel like all Activision cares about now, because of how big that is. It's what the most players play nowadays. Like they don't really even play with the multiplayer on the COD games. Like they just play the Warzone, and I feel like that's been like their main focus for a while now, for sure.
So Pika,
Yeah,
as a like BO3 Cold War player, what has your transition to BO1 been like?
it's been very, very fun. Like I've been playing games like here and there. Because like I'm still playing Black Ops 3 like a lot. Like like the me playing Cold War, um, right now is absolutely out the back window. There is only one more run that I do want to end up doing, which won't be at any point in the next few months. Um, but I will get to that if the time arises. But I've been particularly just been playing Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 1. But with Black Ops 1, it's definitely been enjoyable, just because the especially the mechanics of the zombies in Black Ops 1 compared to Black Ops 3, it is very, very different.
So on like
Uh,
BO3, there's like
well,
the sprinters, like they sprint a lot harder. Like they're respawners around the map. Like they just,
yeah.
you remember
So
area
we
to area they respawn. The BO1
yeah,
maps compared to BO3, like BO1 is a lot more simple layout
yeah.
wise.
BO1 is like the functions of the zombies. It's a lot more simple, but at the same time, it's a lot more unorthodox, because there are
It
like
can be ran. It
certain
can be random
it
sometimes.
What was that?
Like it can be very random sometimes, like with the movement of the zombies.
Yeah, because in Black Ops 1 especially, like there are some moments in time where you are trying to get a horde up and the zombies end up doing a barrel roll in front of you
That's Ascension
and
too.
and you try to run back and then you just have a horde and you're just fucked and you're just like,
Yeah.
damn, which it has happened to me. But I've just been enjoying my time just learning the different strats on
Yeah.
each map that I've been wanting
Well,
to kind of learn.
one thing I liked, I remember we were in VC one night, and you were like, "You want flawless Ascension world record? You want to be Frenzy's 222?"
Yeah,
And to to BO1 players, like experienced BO1 players, like them, not like that might not be like a challenge for people, like not a thing people go for. But I think it was good that you were going for it because you're a new player and you have your own standards and your own expectations, and you need to learn. And I think it's better for like a newer player, like let's say like you set your goal, like you want to be Frenzy's 222 flawless world record. A lot of new players who come in and shit, like they probably like think the opposite, like damn, I need to get really good at this game. I need to play all the hard strats. I need to, and then, like they just end up getting overwhelmed probably, and like they probably just end up
yeah,
like quitting or just not being interested in it because like it's so hard. But like the way to learn zombies in BO1 is start out slow. You know,
yeah.
like don't be
Eh,
afraid to be slow. Really.
Yeah, because the issue that I've noticed with a lot of people who, because like there has been, I've noticed that there are starting to be more and more people who are trying to pick up and learn Black Ops 1, that have played like Cold War, and I have noticed that they're just they're trying to they're trying to do
They care too much to like
the hard
yeah
they care
yeah
too much about, you know, they restart if they don't get a certain time. They if they get a bad, round 50 time, then they're gone. They're focused too much on, like, they want to continuously do the fastest strat like possible.
yeah
And like you have to work your way up because, like, the with the evolution of each record, like especially when, you know before insta kills were even reached for the first time, like everyone was starting off slow, doing the
yeah
slowest things, and then learning, and like with new strats being created. People will, like, if they feel like what they're doing is too easy, then they will take time to practice the hardest strat and work their way up to it. And just like trying to stick with the hardest strat like first off the get-go, it's it will definitely burn someone out and they'll just be like, well, I don't want to play this anymore.
exactly. Um, that's why like I really think like you made the right approach, and I think that's what other players, like newer players, should be doing. Um, don't compare yourself to the players that have thousands and thousands of hours on the game. It's probably not a good
Yeah.
idea. Um, set your own um goals, and then like once you get those, just you learn a lot just from grinding for those, like I would say easier goals, and then like you just become a better player over time.
And even just asking questions too, because like what a lot of people aren't, like, I mean, that don't really particularly play Black Ops 1, is if you just ask pe- all the people who play Black Ops 1, they will not hesitate to answer, because like they love they love just explaining, why they do something, or why they're doing the strat they're doing. Because when I first kind of got introduced to the Black Ops 1 community while I was still playing Cold War, there were a lot of things that I was seeing that I was just like, I was like, why the hell are they doing this? Wouldn't this be more simple? And when I would, like, I would hop into like Zomba's stream, Slayer, Burrit, Rix, like just all the people that I watch playing Black Ops 1 when I'm just watching, trying to learn, I'm asking them questions because I don't necessarily know why they're doing this or what would be more efficient starting off.
Yeah, yeah. Most players won't hesitate to like give
Mm.
anybody advice really at all, because there's like so much to learn like as a new BO1 player, like on every map. Like there's so much to get down. It's probably like one of the, if not like the hardest zombies game to like learn. Um, so yeah. How have you been like? So you enjoy BO1? Like, how does it? You might have already answered this, but how does it like compare to like Cold War or like BO3? Like just going for high rounds.
Going for high rounds, definitely the knowledge. So like with Black Ops 3, it's not as bad because Black Ops 3 was the first zombies game that I got like super super serious into. So with the amount of knowledge that you need for Black Ops 3, because obviously with each game you need a certain amount of knowledge. Um, with certain maps you do need quite a lot of knowledge on Black Ops 3. So I already had like kind of that amount of like experience and knowledge on Black Ops 3 to where it's not as hard for me to go for high rounds on BO3, but with BO1 because I don't have like much knowledge at all on Black Ops 1, it's very challenging for sure starting off and trying to get to a high round because like the last like 3 months I only got one game which I was able to get over 100 on just and then I would look back and I would ask and there are like when you're doing like the trade strat there are like in certain maps there are a lot of different ways to get out of a situation that I was not even aware of. So it's just like you just need that amount of knowledge and the decision making as well, which you don't really develop until you put the hours into the game, which I do not have at the moment, but I am slowly working my way up there. And it's just been an overall enjoyable experience just because, you know, there are people who enjoy talking about it. And I'm just, I just like learning and just
Yeah, like the
improving myself as a
yeah,
player.
like the BO1 community too is like there is some
It
toxicity,
as
but
a
like
whole,
it's very like supportive and stuff, which might be like a
yeah, like
refreshment. A lot
yeah,
of
like the
people to
Black
go
Ops,
to and like talk to
like the
about the
Black
game.
Ops, the Black Ops 1 community is definitely like one of the most welcoming communities, and then Black Ops 3 as well. Even though with Black Ops 3, it's a little more split, because obviously you do have the toxic sides of the zombies community in each game, but it just more depends into who you come across when you try learning about it that but for the most part like both sides they they are very like they're very welcoming to just answering questions that people might have for certain maps or certain strategies and everything so it's just been overall very nice just getting and learning Black Ops 1.
So, Pika, I have a question. So, compared to other streamers like Ferd or Slayer, Ferd and Slayer, they kind of prioritize their game more than their stream. You prioritize your stream over your game, it seems like. Do you think that's kind of correlated to your success as being a streamer?
No, so different so with each streamer different people gain their growth from different things. So with Ferd and Slayer, their success came from their 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 high skill level whenever they're playing certain maps. And since they have the majority of the high round records on Black Ops 1 as a whole, a lot of people tend to watch them because they have an enormous amount of hours put into the game, so they are very knowledgeable and they play the game at a very high skill level. While as for me, it was definitely more putting more into the stream than the actual game because when I got my growth primarily from Cold War, which was more casual catered made because of the unlimited um, down usage and just the casual gameplay to where you can afford to kind of just sit back, relax, and just chat. While as in Black Ops One, there are moments in that game where you don't have that luxury because of how the mechanics of the game works. Where
Yeah, a
because
lot of the
even
BO1 players like don't even talk to their chats, you know, they
yeah,
just
because even though the
focus.
mechanics of the game is simple, the mechanics screw you over the most. So that's why Ferd and Slayer, their streams are more different than mine is because where I got my growth and popularity from Cold War is a lot different because the amount of skill that you need in Cold War is nowhere near as high as Black Ops 1, and the mechanics on Cold War is very simple. While as in Black Ops 1, it is very simple, but it's very unorthodox as well to where you do need to focus a lot more on
Oh
Black Ops
yeah, like
1.
dude, like one lapse of judgment, you know, you're screwed.
Yeah,
Because most
cuz
of the time
because
you're
like
down once, it's a quit, you know.
yeah, cuz like you would notice as well cuz like what I was when I was watching Slayer grinding his doing the Derice grind, he was playing that map for like 3 months straight.
Yeah, he
Um
really grinded it.
every time he looked at his chat, it was that one lapse of judgment, and the second he looked back, he downed.
That's
Like
usually how it goes. Yeah.
it's just yeah, it's just especially with Derice being a chaotic map because you like at a certain round you have the dogs that spawn as well with the zombies, and then when you have to trade, like it's just so many different things that do happen in that where you do have to focus, and if you don't, you will pay for it. So that's where I kind of diverged from two where when I was getting the growth I was getting was because it was my game was way less skill required.
But it was
Um
sort of, you know, good for you to grow. Like it was sort of way less skill required, but it was like a perfect game for you to like stream because a
yes,
lot
it
less skill
was it w-
required, but you don't need to focus that much in the game. You can get really high rounds, but at the same time you can really like try to grow your like Twitch channel.
Yeah, and like obviously like I'm not saying like it doesn't require like skill. Like obviously there is some sort of skill required to survive and recover and like if you want to play a game without going down whatsoever, there is some skill obviously, but just the the required amount of skill is nowhere near as high as it is on the previous zombies, and I know we can all agree on
Oh
that.
yeah, for
Like,
sure.
Cold War kind of gives you that place to make that lapse of judgment and like not be um like affected by it as much.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in Cold War, you have multiple different ways of safety. Even like before you take it down, you have support streaks such as chopper gunners, war machines, just like super overpowered things that you can use to where you can just lean back and relax. While as in Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, even Black Ops 4, you don't have that luxury. The second that you are in a scuffed situation, you don't have that sort of safety. Like yeah, in Black Ops 1 you have the crossbow, but it takes a while for that shot to register. And even
Yeah.
then, sometimes that sort of safety fails because I don't know why the game
Sometimes the
intends
bullet just doesn't fucking work. Too.
yeah,
You
so
shoot it, you know,
yeah.
you die.
So
And,
like
or it takes
especially
them like 10 years to go to it, and like there's that. BO1, a lot of BO1 is mainly BO1 Zombies is mainly decision making. Like
Absolutely.
that's what makes the game is you have to be good at making decisions throughout a game, and it can be really hard because the games last so long. It's like you're playing 70 plus hours reset. It's sort of fucking hard to make good decisions the whole way through. Like 70 hours of decision making, that's a lot of decisions to make.
Yep.
And that's like the main thing that I think make is the difference between like the good players and the bad players, or the good players and the great players. It's really just comes down to like good decision making, and the only way to get that decision making too is obviously just a grind. Put the time into the maps, because you need to learn like the situations and like get situational awareness for everything.
And then you also just need the knowledge as well to, because like obviously what you guys have figured out to where like players that are just that have played Cold War that are starting to pick up Black Ops One, what they don't realize is that there are certain ways, because like obviously after a certain amount of time that you have in a game, your game will reset and you will be restarting the game at round one. But what people aren't aware is the fact that you can do certain actions on the map to where it prolongs the reset, such as, intentionally downing yourself
Yeah.
to get rid of QR, and just like different aspects in general that you can do on specific maps to increase that reset time to give you that highest amount of possibility to get that record run that
Yeah,
you
it's like
want.
crazy on BO1. It's like, damn, like you're telling me if we kill ourselves 3 times at the start of the game, we save 30 minutes?
Yep.
It's like,
And
yeah, let's do it. We don't
and
have
then
any.
if you don't
We have one QR the whole game.
and then if you don't play
Worth
with
it.
Mule, you say 40 minutes. Like it's just like it's
Yeah.
absolutely like it's just the amount of knowledge for each map, which is why like in my opinion, like it's just in my opinion, Black Ops One does require the most
Oh
knowledge,
yeah.
and that's just for me mainly because I already have a lot of knowledge on Black Ops 3 to where I know what I have to do for each map that I play, whereas Black Ops 1 is a completely different story. I'm basically going in at it at like just learning the game and just learning each different things, such as how to increase reset, how to do the strats, how to, if I have to end up trading my weapon, what's the most efficient way to do it. It's just different
Yeah, like
things that go
every
into that.
round, like dude, I play. It's like I'm always thinking like, okay, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Should I do this? Should I do this? And it might
Yeah.
it might look like I'm just running loose and pack a bunch, man. It's so easy, right? But like in my
Mhm.
head, like behind me playing the game, dude, I'm literally thinking of like 20 different things. Like, dude, should I do this? Should I do this? Box is here. Should I do this when I go to the box? Should I shoot this bow shot? When I get to the box, should I do this loop? Should I do that loop? Um, and it's crazy how like there's so many there's so many fucking situations you're in and shit, and it makes it really hard to get the map down because you're gonna die a good fair amount about time, but like you gotta make sure like you gotta learn from it, and don't do that stupid thing you did that one time, and like just make
Mhm.
sure like you learn from it, and like that's how you just improve at the game
Yeah.
as well.
I feel like Black Ops 1 though, like out of anything, Black Ops 1 kind of rewards you for your like learning those situations the
Oh, it
most
a
compared
hundred
to other
percent.
games.
It 100% rewards you for your decision making because like it Black Ops One doesn't have the luxury as Black Ops 3, such as the in plain sight. Like if someone were to play, because the most of the records on Black Ops 3 is classic gums or no gums. Like there are some people who play megas, but it's just not as prevalent the amount of people that do play compared to just the normal classics. Because like in classics, you have safety guns and you have AETs, which you don't have in Black Ops One. So your decision making on Black Ops One, like the it is the most rewarding on Black Ops
Oh
One
yeah.
with your decision making compared to all of the other Call of Duties. Maybe Black Ops 2 to an extent, but Black Ops 1 definitely has the most reward for decision making by far.
At
Yeah.
Black Ops 2, it's kinda like you have to learn a pattern, and then after you learn the pattern, it's just like, okay. Black Ops 1 though, there's really no pattern to things. Black Ops 1's like random, so you have to like learn those decisions in order to improve. As opposed to other games where like you can just kind of if you fuck up, you have like an escape route or
Yeah.
like a way to get out of
I mean,
that
like
decision.
you said, like with patterns, right? In like BO2 or even BO3, where you're sort of, or even Cold War 2, like you're just doing like the same thing over and over again. It's consistent. Um, what like that, it makes the game a lot easier for you. Like going into BO1, like a map like Shino, a map like Deriz, map like even like Ascension, where it's just a lot of it is random with your power ups, your I know power ups in like BO2 and BO3 as well, but like your drop cycle, your like where the zombies spawn, like what angle is this zombie coming at me from? Like
Yeah.
like that's like to the point where the game's at like, dude, if the zombie's coming at me from this way or that way, and um a lot of randomness, um that you have to be ready for too. Like that's why it's like you got to be ready for every situation
Mhm.
for sure.
I mean,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
that's all of our questions for you, Pika. Do you have anything you want to add or anything that's on to your attention you kind of want to talk about?
Um, Not that I can think of at this moment in time.
All right.
All right.
Well, Vex, do you have anything?
No, man, not really. I think we covered like all the topics that we were supposed to. So,
All right, Pika. Well, we thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been a great time having you here.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you guys for having me.
Guys, yeah, if you want to check out Pika, he streams on Twitch. I think you do YouTube, right, Pika?
I do hardly. Just I take the videos that I do off of my Twitch onto my YouTube.
Guys, go ahead. If you want to check out Pika, he'll be down in the description for y'all. We thank you for watching episode 6 of the Knifing of X podcast. And yeah, guys, we have some good guests coming up. And we'll see you in episode 7.